I'm going to talk about investments and investing as well. That's probably the biggest part of what we actually do for most of you, assuming you're a client, and what many or most of my other extensive viewership in the business will be involved in. Now, as you'll know, we don't actually manage your investments. Our job as we see it is to pick the proper investment managers or investment management companies we think can do it best, and to put your funds into something which matches what you want and is at the right level of risk for you, and then to keep tabs on those who are looking after your money. And as independents, we can sack them and pick another if we agree with you that that's the right thing to do and they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Now, to find out whether that's the right thing to do, we talk to fund managers all the time, and that hopefully means that we can answer your questions about what the heck is going to happen and what we should all be worrying about. The most asked questions when we go and see our clients. So, current major worry number one, probably the return of the Donald in America. What will that mean? How's that going to affect investments and maybe life in general? Well, first of all, what happens in America is important for pretty much everyone's investments. It's still the world's biggest economy and has the biggest stock markets by far. And if you look under the bonnet of any of the portfolios, certainly that we recommend, you'll see that probably at least half, sometimes more, is invested there for just those reasons. Now, so far, DT has been good for shares, as the market's first instinct is that he'll probably cut taxes and be pro-business, for better or worse. The worse is that putting tariffs on everything that's imported into America could bounce back at him if the rest of the world retaliates and puts tariffs on American goods. And many are hoping that there is a lot of hot air that was shouted to win the election, which will disapparate in the wake of, well, in the real world. However, you may have heard the famous saying, "It's events, dear boy, events," and that the best laid plans of many or most governments can and usually are taken over by other stuff. Now, a very interesting chart that was produced at a presentation I went to this week, thanks Charles Stanley, proved that very point. It showed the best and worst performing types of company under different American presidents. Now, worst under Trump last time was the oil sector, oil companies, despite his drill baby drill message. Because of course COVID happened. And when it happened, no one was driving or flying anywhere, and oil company shares crashed in value. Going back a bit further, for Bush, it was the financial sector, banks and so on, as his term of office finished with the financial crash of 2008-9, which kind of makes still more of a case for something we've been talking about a lot, and that's passive and what is called evidence-based investing, which more often than not means that the managers aren't trying to outthink the course of history, but they base their investment decisions on what's gone before, rather than guessing or, fund managers determining through rigorous research what they think is likely to happen. Because the main message of both life and investing is, well, hang on in there and it will usually be all right in the end. And if it's not all right, it's not the end yet. Or in the rather gloomier words of Winston Churchill, if you're going through hell, keep moving. Yeah, a little extreme, I know, but you get my drift.